One of the quotes that came out from this film that rang throughout the country is, "There will be no healing without truth." There is this massive gap of education in this reconciliation journey that we're on, not only as Canada, but as North America and Aboriginal peoples throughout this world. And this is going to be a very important tool for us to continue to tell that story, continue to hold up the history and legacy of residential schools and the healing that needs to happen.
I think I do want to point out one of the key things for us is education. As a very young archaeologist, I drove past the mission, actually almost about 10 years ago to this day, and a colleague of mine pointed and said, you know, there's inscriptions in that barn. There are names in that barn. And literally the writing is on the wall about the atrocities that occurred there, but the denialism is so rampant that we will have smashed out windows at our offices, and we will have those emails that you heard the chief read, and that will be some of the response and backlash to this screening. So I hope that you take it with you to bring the truth back to your communities and tell these stories as well.
You know, when I watched the documentary, having been involved for the last 30, 40 years, being an advocate for survivors. So for us to be able to allow people into our lives to share our truth was very special. I knew this day would come, and we're here. I also know that the Creator works in His own way. That there'd come a day when we would be able to tell our truth with our own minds, with our own hearts, with our own spirits. I think of the many children that were lost at the residential school, the many that have committed suicide. At the same time, I balance that with my little grandbaby that I was trying to put to sleep. My grandkids are my life. I want to also be able to just thank Gugwe and Whitney for being able to just make things happen. There was a story to be told, and some people will just go out and do what they need to make it happen, and they did. And for Whitney, just being a non-Indigenous voice with us to give us voice. For a lot of times we had to hold each other together. We're fortunate we have ceremony every week, every other week. Our support person, Dave, is in the audience with us up there. He'll make sure to take care of us when we're done here. But thank you again, and to Emily and to Julian. When I spoke to Julian about the elders, seeing him doing this work, for the life of me, I never thought it would have to be in the barn. At the same time, if that's the place, then that's what happened. There's faith at the end of the day, where I know, standing here, just in closing, that one of our young elders had a vision. Our ancestors came to see him, and he knew the ancestors saw this day coming. Our ancestors knew that we're going to be able to go through this deep, dark period in our lives. Residential school, foster homes, murdered and missing women all across the country. But that we're going to come through all of this, and we're going to be stronger for all of this. The message I want to leave with each and every one of you that's in the audience, that I want you to take so that this resonates across the country, is that tonight you tell your loved ones what you saw today. You tell them the truth, the whole truth. And that you tell your colleagues when you go to work what you saw today. And for all of you, wherever you work and wherever you live, you are in Indigenous country, where I'd like you to reach out to those chiefs, to those leaders, to those people that you see on the streets. They come from this place. They have a story. You know, they need to be heard. Their truth needs to be told. Again, if there's anything, you know, that I want to leave you with, is that you're here for a reason tonight. And I love to see you take the message out. I just hope and pray that the people that are considering taking this documentary and giving it life can do so with the utmost respect that the people have shown in the documentary. And that when you do, that you're willing to take that chance so that our people have a voice from this documentary, and that we can all heal together. Again, just thank you for being here today, and I honor and appreciate and respect each and every one of you. All my relations. Hooksham.
That really means the world to us. I just want to mention that Madam Secretary Deb Haaland, the first ever Native American Cabinet Secretary and Secretary of the Interior, is here tonight at our world premiere. Secretary Haaland is leading an inquiry, a national inquiry into Native American boarding schools here in the United States. This is not just a Canadian story, it is also an American story. There were twice as many schools in the United States, that twice as many children were taken away to. And we really hope that this film is part of a broader conversation, not just in Canada, but also in America, about the horrifying legacy and the enduring power of Indigenous communities, but also the horrifying legacy of the Native American boarding schools and the Indian residential schools. I think that it's important for Indigenous communities, survivors themselves, to be the leading voices of what repair looks like and what real action looks like. What I can say is that what we saw in the documentary was, I think, accurately portrayed as mostly words without actions, particularly on the part of the Catholic Church. And for many survivors, that is not enough. So the action needs to be substantive, and that is, as Chief Rick Gilbert said, that is the biblical Christian thing to do. Thank you so much.